Welcome to Soul Alchemy. Hey, everybody. I am Janelle Mings, and you are watching the third episode of Soul Alchemy. And today I'm going to be talking about a song that is considered obscure to some people and a favorite of others. If you are a big fan of the Gap Band, you will know this song if you know their discography very well. And this will be a song that'll be introduced to other people. So a lot of people know the Gap Band for songs like Drop the Bomb on Me. Let's see, Early in the Morning, Yearning for Your Love. So many great hits that they have, but many people don't know about the song called Sweet Caroline. No, it is not a cover of Neil Diamond's classic song, Sweet Caroline. Um, but it's a great song. It's one of my favorite songs by the Gap Band, and it's a song that I grew up listening to. As I may have said in one of the other recordings, um, I grew up listening to a lot of the records that my parents had at home. Um, they would go off to work. A lot of times in the summertime is when I would listen to those songs, and this song was one of them. And there were many songs that I began to love from the Gap Band, like Lonely Like Me, Seasons No Reason to Change, those songs that are very obscure, but I loved they were the ballads, and I love the fast stuff too, of course. But this is definitely one that I would say, yeah, I could listen to this forever, really. It's just one of my favorites. So I wanted to do a deep dive of this song. And definitely, if you know this song, if you listen to it and learn to love it, definitely comment below and let me know what you loved about it or your thoughts on it. And as we are going to do in every episode, we're going to talk about the band, the credits from the song, the significant sounds, and changes in the song, especially this song, the breakdown of the lyrics, and of course, talk about at the end the heartbeat of the songs. We break down what is the concrete heartbeat and what is the abstract heartbeat of the song. All right, so the Gap Band. So of course, they've had several albums over the years. There are three brothers, Ronnie Wilson, Robert Wilson, of course, Charlie Wilson, that many people are familiar with, who has went on to do his own solo recordings. And we wish Charlie Wilson well. We know that he recently suffered from multiple strokes that happened initially, I think, in October of last year. And so we just wish him well. We wish him a complete recovery from that. I know that he is still out performing and, trying to work back up to being 100%. And so we definitely pray for him. And people love Charlie Wilson's voice. He's just so recognizable. Once you hear him sing, you know that that's Charlie singing. And so many R&B male vocalists have been influenced by his voice and his sound. And so, yeah, they've had great music over the years. The Gap Band, this particular album that Sweet Caroline is on, is the Gap Band 3. And this was released in December of 1980 on Mercury Records. The album went to number one on Billboard's top soul albums and number 16 on Billboard 200. So it was a successful album. And you'll notice that that their albums are like the Gap Band 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because of that's the way they decided to name them based on when they released them from that record label. So let's talk about the writers. The writers of this song, Sweet Caroline, are Charlie Wilson and Malvin Dino Weiss. And then the producer is Lonnie Simmons. And this is a ballad that is a romantic ballad, not a happy love story, a sad love story. And so when they recorded this song, they did not go into this recording it and thinking, yeah, this is going to be a big hit, because they didn't, release the song as a single. It was just going to be what they called a filler song for their album. And The whole album was tracked live in one big room at Total Experience Recording Studios in Hollywood, designed by engineer Armin Steiner. Guitar, bass, keys, and Rhodes were mostly recorded direct with the full band playing together so that they could vibe off of each other, which you kind of, when you hear the song, you can kind of see how this could possibly happen. Um, and so that's why when you hear it, the grooves kind of really feel very connected and cohesive. And one thing that stands out about this song is that there is a guitar that you hear in the song very close to the beginning and throughout that sounds like a steel guitar. Now, I'm not seeing in my research where that's really been fully confirmed that it's steel, but it sounds like a steel guitar. I'm not a guitarist, so if there's somebody who knows more information about that and hears it and knows like, yeah, that's definitely steel. It definitely gives you the country feel when you hear the song. And I am going to play several snippets of the song because this song kind of goes through these nice little changes and chromatic changes in the song that I think that are really good to hear. And so Charlie Wilson is actually on keys, synth, and lead vocals. Ronnie Wilson is on trumpet and keys. Robert Wilson is on bass. And there are contributions from Oliver Scott and Fred Jenkins, Glenn Nightingale, and Marlo Henderson on guitar and guitars. Those, all of them are on guitars. And then Katie Kilpatrick is on harp. And so you'll hear the strings in there. So again, no one is actually credited apparently with playing steel, so we can't really confirm that that's what's actually happening. That's the actual instrument in the song. Noticeable, you know, that sound, and it kind of puts you in the mind of something that maybe still Stevie Wonder would have recorded when he chose to do the song I Ain't Gonna Stand For It off of Hotter Than July, the Hotter Than July album, which is a great song. And also, I think in my research, there was someone saying that Lionel Richie, you could almost hear Lionel Richie possibly doing a song like this. And so it's just a great song, and we'll get to that in just a second. Breakdown. Again, like I said, this was just something they wanted to fill the album. But it actually ended up being a favorite of many of their fans. And so at the time, the record label was trying to try out different sounds. And the Gap Band was one of those people that was apparently open to that and that they wanted to allow to be able to do those new and different sounds. And so what I want to do now before we get into the lyrics, I wanted to play a few snippets of the song. Definitely the beginning, because this is when you know, oh, okay, this part of this song, the beginning, is setting the tone. Obviously, every song should be trying to set a certain tone for what they want you to get out of that song. So I believe with them starting the song in this way, they are setting the tone for how they want you to see this type of love story, which is sad. So here we go. Play a little bit of here so you can hear it. There's the guitar. So yeah, such a great song. I mean, you hear it, you know, it's just starts off so good. So it's setting the tone to let you know how this song is gonna go. And so there's a part where the strings comes in that I would like to play here so you can hear that. So it's doing that same thing as he was singing. Yeah. Okay. So that's a little bit of the strings, and of course you hear the steel guitar come in. And then there's a breakdown in the song that it sounds just like the beginning of the song. So it returns to that beginning of the song, that tone, that set. And then I wanted to play a little bit of the end of the song so you will know how the song um, plays out. Okay, so that's the end of the song. So it's the end of the song is basically that relationship that was there that's no longer there. And he's saying, said you be mine. Why did you lie to me? But let's get into the lyrics now. And this is one where I wanted to kind of focus a little bit more on the lyrics than I have with the other two songs that I did. But I'm not going to say the entire lyrics. Just for legal purposes. So, of course, the song you heard, the beginning of the song, and you all might hear my little dog in the background. So, starts out with him saying, "Sweet Caroline, loved you with all of my heart." So you hear that melody in the song, and he's saying that for two basically stanzas because you really don't have a real big main chorus here. The line just Sweet Caroline, kind of like how Childhood was the main line, but it really was no constant main chorus there. So in the beginning, he's letting this love of his life know that he loves them with all of their heart, that he doesn't ever want to part from them. That wouldn't be very smart. I need you for my wife. Time's too short in my life. How I love you. That's the first stanza. But then something changes by the time the second stanza rolls around. That was very quick. So, Sweet Caroline told me you believed in me. Sweet Caroline all the time deceiving me, telling me that you needed me. Can't you see how you're leaving me? Don't know how to make you see that I love you. So that is the tone for the rest of the song, that this person has decided to not be with him anymore. They have no more of a relationship. So, and that's so towards the end of the song or halfway in you hear that bridge that's kind of like basically the beginning of the song. And then it goes into Sweet Caroline said you'd be mine. Why did you lie to me, baby? Oh, Sweet Caroline. So Sweet Caroline said you'd be mine. Why did you lie to me, baby? Sweet Caroline. So you're going to hear that the rest of the way of the song. So it's a very sweet song. It's not a long song, but it's just a very sweet, sad love song with all these chromatic elements, meaning that it starts off in a key and it changes all these different keys where there's some sad tones and then there's some lighthearted tones in the song, letting you know that there was some changes happening here. And so listen to that key changes. One thing to note that there are certain keys that are considered sad keys or keys that are usually used for sadder songs, and so keys that are usually used for happier songs. A lot of your major keys, a lot of the more minor keys are used for sadder songs. So maybe look that information up if you're more interested in that and doing some research on that. So that's basically the gist of the song. But I wanted to play more snippets in this song that I usually do that I did for the other two songs, because this song had a lot of changes in it. So with that being said, if you listen to this song, think about what would be the main heartbeat of the song, the concrete heartbeat of the song, what is the main root and foundation of this song. And to me, it's a few things in this song. It's the bass actually for me, and the strings, the guitar for sure, and the drums. The guitar just gives it a flavor that is so important and key to the song, that it is part of it being the heartbeat of the song. And the drums, because the drums keep it on that nice little drive. You're like, sweet Caroline, said you be mine. So it's keeping everything going at a very steady pace. And his vocals, Charlie Wilson's vocals, are going very in sync with the drums and the bass, with how he's singing it. His cadence is going very much with that. So to me, that is the concrete heartbeat of the song. The abstract heartbeat of the song is that with these chromatic movements in the song, it kind of, to me, it's a symbolism of the relationship changing. All these key changes, the relationship changed into something that they didn't want, and they're sad about it. And so that is pretty much the abstract heartbeat of the song, is that it's showing you that this person was wanting a love very deeply, but then something changed. And they're explaining that, and how this person said they would be theirs, and they lied to them. So yeah, that is pretty much it. And I think that this song is a song that should be known more than what it is. It's a beautiful song. So the last thing I will say, it was considered a filler, but ended up being something that many of the fans loved. So what would you say in your life, or some things in your life that are maybe considered filler? Maybe projects, situations, different things in your life that you just said, this is just something to get me to this point, or something to help this come to fruition or completion. And then it ended up being actually more important than what you thought it was. And I think that happens in our life a lot. So that could also be the abstract heartbeat of the song too. So in an subconscious way or subjective way. So yeah, let me know what you think about the song. Comment and like this video, and let me know if there's a song that you would like me to do a deep dive on. And I'm hoping to have some guests on with me soon to talk about these songs. But yeah, check out Sweet Caroline. Beautiful song. To me, it's one of the best songs from the Gap Band that people don't know about. And I will see you guys soon. All right, bye.